You won't believe the analogy that Colin Cowherd has for Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue, and we got some juicy segments to get to here today. Not only what Cowherd said, but also Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders have addressed the rumors about their relationship. They spoke to the media today. A reporter had the stones to ask them both. We're going to take a look at what they had to say. So action-packed show here. Buckle up. Get ready for Cowherd's comments. But before we do that, let's get a quick thing going in the comments section. Do you like what you saw from Shedeur? Be the judge. Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no. Based on his first start, get that going. Did you like it? Did you not? I want to see what the Browns fans thought of QB1. Let's get into what Colin Cowherd actually had to say on his show, The Herd. And, well, check this out. In a weird way, Shedeur Sanders is the perfect holiday fling. You play around for the next 6 or 7 weeks, and then eventually Cleveland moves on to a steady or somebody they're going to have a 15-year relationship with. It's a good time, but it's not a marriage. Nick Wright responded, said, well, if you're Cleveland, you're looking at this like, did we get a diamond in the rough with Shedeur? It's possible. I don't think it's possible that Dillon Gabriel is the Browns starter in 4 years. It is possible Shedeur is, so I'd want to see him play. All right, first of all, that's just a funny way to put it for Colin Cowherd, a holiday fling. But I'm more on Nick Wright's side here. I mean, what if there is a chance, right? I think there is more of a chance that he is than Dillon Gabriel. It seems like Gabriel has a better chance of maybe being a good backup in the league or for the Cleveland Browns. And so I'm kind of leaning towards Nick Wright here. To Colin Cowherd, dude, this isn't a joke. We're not just messing around with Shedeur for 6 weeks. No, we're trying to find our franchise quarterback here. This isn't just someone we're bringing in for a little bit of fun. We've been searching for years, for decades, to get our guy. And so we're actually going to try and evaluate Shedeur Sanders and what he can do, what he can be, because he really believes that he can be a franchise quarterback in this league and for the Cleveland Browns. I also think we are overblowing his first start. Like, we are diving into it, reading into it way too much. That's the good and the bad. Like, whatever he did in his first start wouldn't define his career. He could have had an awful game. It wouldn't mean his career's over. He could have balled out 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, cooked the Raiders. It would be an amazing sign, but it wouldn't define that he's going to be the greatest quarterback ever going forward. No. It's just his first ever start, and I think because of the age we're in, of social media and the draw that Shedeur has, every single throw he makes is going to be overblown. But you look at some other first starts in history, I mean, honestly pretty similar to Shedeur was Bernie Kosar's first ever start as a rookie. He was 9 of 18 for 208 yards and a touchdown, pretty close to 11 of 20 for 209 yards and a touchdown. It could get you juiced up, Cleveland Browns fans. Also, another player who wore number 12, Tom Brady's first ever start, was 13 of 23 for 168 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. And these are first starts, folks, that we have to keep in mind. Also, a lot of rookie quarterbacks that went on to be Hall of Famers, great quarterbacks, were awful in their first start. Troy Aikman, 180 yards, 2 picks, no touchdowns. Elway basically did nothing and threw a pick. Andrew Luck, 3 interceptions. Peyton, 3 interceptions. I mean, guys, these are some of the best quarterbacks that we've seen play talent-wise, and their first starts were bad. So to judge what Shedeur did, all you want to see in those types of games is flashes. That's what matters, is the first couple starts that you see that there's some traits, that you see, like the throw to Isaiah Bond. That's a flash. That's an exciting play that we haven't seen all season long for the Cleveland Browns, okay? And you want to just see a little bit of something. Is this someone that you can now develop once you build around this guy, once you go out and get a better system, perhaps a new coach, definitely some more offensive linemen and weapons, right? That's what matters in these types of early first games, and we saw that from Shedeur. I also saw some good traits just in both of the games that we've seen him play. First of all, against who did he just play? Raiders. Deep ball accuracy. The throw to Bond, like I said, on the run, I mean, off his back foot, points it to Bond's chest in the bucket. Myles Garrett couldn't believe it. So that sort of ability is a plus. His mentality and drive to be great is another thing that I think is getting overlooked, quite frankly. I mean, who has the confidence to, before your first ever start, tell a reporter, I'm who they've been looking for? And even played. And then they win the game. Like, I really do think he has the trait of a star quarterback, of a franchise quarterback, that sort of drive, determination to be great, and the work ethic that he's putting in. He's studying behind the scenes. And then also he just has a fan base that will ride or die with him. I mean, Cowherd was calling it a cult like Tim Tebow had. I mean, there's a group of people that are literally just Shedeur fans and that tune into our live streams as well. And so he's someone that everybody wants to watch. It's great for the NFL if Shedeur is great. More people are going to tune in. And so there's some things that I saw that are pluses, and I wouldn't rule out the idea that he could be Cleveland's guy. And to Nick Wright's point, there's a chance. It's possible. And in these early starts, you just want to see that there's a possibility. You know, I'm not calling it here right now that he's the franchise quarterback, but I actually believe he could be because of those traits that I just listed. So who do you think is our best bet, Browns fans? On the roster right now, type SS if you think it's Shedeur. Type DG if you think it's Dillon Gabriel. If you think none of them have any chance, we should get a new guy, then type QB for maybe a new quarterback in this year's draft, Mendoza, whoever you like. But give me your answer in that comment section with those initials. Curious what the Browns fans think right now. And Shedeur, he's not settling. I mean, he emphasized in his presser today that he's not comfortable. He said, I'm definitely not comfortable. He wants an opportunity to go out there and be even greater than he was in his first start. And so, like I said, he's not settling. I like that about him. I really do. We'll see what he brings to the Cleveland Browns. But coming up on the show, let's get into what Shedeur and Stefanski had to say about their relationship. Lots of rumors on social media, on ESPN, that Stefanski hates Shedeur. Well, they spoke about it today. But before we tell you what they said, I want to give a special shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports. Bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It is all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. Prize Picks. I love this app, man. It's fun. I win money. Covering the Browns helps me know what picks to make. When the coaches talk about getting Jerry Jeudy more involved, I picked more on his projections, and I was right. When Cleveland plays a bad run defense, I'm all in on Quinshon Judkins' projections. And is your fantasy season already over? One of my teams is cooked. But with Prize Picks, I don't have to wait until next year's draft. Prize Picks lets you play fantasy football every week. Pick your favorite players and win when they hit their projections. Every week, no draft required. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in, and I've got a lineup for this week. Thanksgiving football. Our old friend Kareem Hunt, more than half a touchdown, please. And Shedeur Sanders. Give me the more than 149.5 passing yards. He did in his first start. I expect it again. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS. To get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, now, let's talk about it. What did Shedeur say when he was asked about his relationship with Stefanski? He was actually asked about people saying that Stefanski was sabotaging him. And Shedeur responded saying, so you just want to start trouble, huh? Overall, I'm just happy to be here. Coach Stefanski, been coaching since I got here, and he's been doing a very great job with everything that's going on. The reporter followed up, said, but what's your relationship like with him? Shedeur said, definitely like a coach. He tells me what I need to do on and off the field. We've definitely grown. Our relationship and everything has grown. I'm just grateful to be here. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't sound perfect. Like, I don't want to speculate too much, but, like, he kind of tiptoed it a bit. He didn't come out here and say, our relationship's great. I love Coach Stefanski. I work with him every day. He kind of was like, you're trying to start trouble, and said, yeah, we've grown. It's a coach. He tells me what to do. Like, I mean, there might be a little bit of truth to these rumors. I don't think it's sabotage or anything like that necessarily, but who am I to say? And obviously, if they didn't have a good relationship, Shedeur wouldn't come out and say that. He's a starting quarterback. That's your head coach who you have to listen to. Like, he wouldn't just go out and say, oh, yeah, I hate him, right? Like, he's not going to do that. So what I got from that answer is that it isn't a perfect relationship. I think there is a little bit of just difference with those two. So because he didn't come out there and say, yeah, I love Stefanski, we have a great relationship. No, he just said, I'm just happy to be here. Very interesting. And if we know Stefanski wanted Dillon Gabriel to be the starter, sort of picked him until he got hurt. See how this could impact the course of the Cleveland Browns situation next year and their personnel. Stefanski did have a little bit of praise for Shedeur, though. He said, I thought that was a really strong outing for Shedeur in his first start to just have one sack. He said it was something that they had been working on, was Shedeur, getting the ball out a little quicker, not taking sacks. And really, it was one coverage sack. That's it. I mean, Shedeur really made strides from being thrown into the Ravens game to starting versus the Raiders and helping us get a win. Another thing that's been going around social media about Stefanski and Shedeur is the locker room post-game victory speech where he hyped up everybody on the team and then just kind of said, oh, and a rookie making his first start. Nice job, Shedeur. And everyone was like, bro, he hates him, man. What the heck is going on? So they asked Stefanski about this as well. They're like, why didn't you give Shedeur a game ball or really address him after his first win? No Cleveland quarterback has ever done it. Stefanski said, well, Miles got the game ball. I thought it was probably pretty worthy, which absolutely. I mean, Miles is just on a different level. He for sure, no one's arguing he shouldn't get a game ball. I mean, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen watching 95 right now, to be honest with you guys. But where people got mad is why didn't you give either rookie quarterback a game ball on their first wins, And this is where the speculation comes in that, well, Stefanski's bad with quarterbacks, with young quarterbacks. He doesn't, he's not a player's coach. He's very stern, even keel consistently. And young quarterbacks, sometimes they do need a little bit of praise. They do, especially someone like Shedeur who loves the spotlight and attention, man. So people were pretty critical of Stefanski for not giving game balls out to the quarterbacks. So weigh in for me, Browns fans. What do you think's going on behind the scenes? I mean, do you think they like each other? What is going on? Everyone is speculating about this. What do you make of all of it? In the comment section, tell me your quote-unquote conspiracy theory, what you think's going on behind the scenes, Browns fans. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode and you don't miss a piece of news or rumor going on with Shedeur, the Cleveland Browns, the head coach. I got you covered on everything Cleveland Browns. So hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.